Alright, well, I know I said I was probably not going to make another video, but, what can I say? Things of late have dictated to where I should make another video. I don't believe I'm going to make... Here's the topic of what I'm going to get at. It's feminism and simps. It's been all over everywhere. Men are disgusted, women are disgusted. Everybody's aggravated at each other, but let's get to the meat of things. I haven't even heard of simp until the feminine movement was popular. I could be wrong, but what I'm saying is I haven't heard of it until I knew something was popular. I could use some help and see if anybody knows about if that terminology was used before or after it became popular, but my belief is truly, an opinion is that it derived because of women acting a certain way, men that couldn't handle the prospects of what are, and they just became the way it is. But I wanted to throw my 2 cents in on the feminist movement. I don't like it any more than I do probably anything else. Women trying to be men is disgusting. Now, not only is it disgusting, what I'm about to say also is contradictive, vindictive, and rather it just clarifies everything else. A woman trying to be a man, but yet calling the man worthless and his toxic masculinity is a problem. Meanwhile, she is being toxic and rude and ignorant while trying to be the male, while calling the male what she's calling him. That is hypocrisy at its best. The man is toxic and evil and a piece of crap, but she's not, even though she's trying to be the man. That's what I'm getting at. That is terrible. That is disgusting. I also see this as an agenda. This is something that needs to stop. The same people who in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s poisoning our fluoride, poisoning our water, lying about our FDA approved meats and what's in our fruits and vegetables that we eat and everything else. So what's their next best plan? That's cheap, affordable, because they're losing money. They got a million things going on. They're out to destroy humanity as well as the United States. What's the best next move for them? You got to think about it, because I'm trying to let you in on something very serious and very big. Bigger than, let's just say it's probably as big as World War III. Because people should stop fighting each other and calling each other names. Senselessly, anyways. Because you got too many people bickering about other people being a certain way, and they're not looking at the bigger picture. They're only looking at small puzzle pieces, and they're pointing fingers instead of taking it all into perspective and looking at the entire puzzle. Or at least connecting the dots and lines what they have and trying to make something out of it. Alright? If you can't, the man has the seed, the woman has the eggs. Their poison couldn't destroy enough men and masculinity. They can't destroy the fertilization of the women fast enough, and there's too much. So what's their next best move? Make a woman into a man, and straight men don't want another man. I think that's very simple. And if you're a straight man trying to have reproduction and procreation and children and all that, it's not going to happen, because women wanting to be men is a complete turnoff. You're just gone. Simple as that. That's just the way it is. A man has to be a man. You can't have two male lions running the pack of the pride or whatever. Wolves are different. But if you stay with the analogy I'm trying to use, you can't have two heads running the same house. You just can't. It won't happen. There's no way. Is what I'm getting at. Woman wants to be the head and wear the pants like a man, and a man's just not going to have it. Either he's going to be weak and submissive, or he's going to say, woman, you need to leave. Go, get out of here. Bye. That's just simple, as plain as it can be. So that is their plan. That's their new plan, to destroy humanity with feminism. It's in the United States, it's in the UK, it's in... let's just say it's in the better and latter half of Europe, not just the United States. Pretty much everybody else, I don't want to say everybody, but let's just stick with the main half of Europe, or the latter half of Europe. My face itch, sorry about that. This feminist movement is, and it needs to be stopped. Point blank and serious, simple. It needs to be stopped. But you can't destroy an idea. You can foul the idea. You can show people that they're wrong and that the idea is a bad one and it has severe consequences that are irreversible. But you can't destroy the idea, but you can surely sour the idea enough to where enough people pull their head out of their 6 point of contact and say, hey, this is no longer an ideology we want to follow anymore. Sorry. Well, there it is. Pointing the finger at other men, calling them names, it's not really going to help. Calling women the garden tool, I don't know if that's going to help. Because they don't see it as if they care. Our government has made it, not just ours in the United States, but the governments really have pushed and made it a bad decision for men to get married and do all this. There's no incentive to want to get married anymore when one party gets to say, well, I don't want to be with you no more, so I'm going to walk away and take everything you got, even though I didn't work for it. It's a lazy, sleazy way of, as they say on the streets, coming up. And women belong to the streets that know that, I'm going to come up real quick because I'm going to marry him and take everything he's got, There's got to be an incentive for men to want to marry women. There's got to be. And there's not. It's not a generation issue. It's our government it's we the people having an issue with the governments. That's saying, we're going to make sure that the men are not either one, needed, or two, the men feel like they can't get ahead because you need two people at least for incomes to make it, rent and all that, and food and whatever else. But I'm pretty sure I'm preaching to the choir at this point, where that it's a struggle to make it on your own with one income, or if you're a man working two jobs, have no life because you have two jobs, trying to make two incomes just to keep this roof over your head. It don't work. Not easy. It don't. Because you don't have no life. You don't have no free time. You ain't going nowhere. Other than work, shower, bed, work, repeat. That ain't no fun. That's not a life. That's dang near slavery. Why I say that? Because it's like this. It's you may not have somebody with a whip on your back, but you sure do. IRS and FBI will be at your door for sure if you don't pay those taxes and you don't have pay your rent. Cause somebody's about to kick you out. If you live in an apartment or if you live in your house, you still gotta pay things on your assets, pay taxes on your assets. That's what I mean. Excuse me. So somebody's gonna come after you if you ain't paying. It's not slavery as it was 100 or so years ago, back in the 1800s, but it sure is economic slavery. That's why feminist needs to stop. This feminist movement needs to stop. If women are not helping men and being support for men, this country's lost. Women have an important role too. I get it. Men have the most important role, making the decisions that are cognitive, that are functional, that are correct, that are going to get the family ahead. The puns are real. But the men are not given a chance to be the coach captain or the captain of the family. And that's a problem. Women think that's a problem because I don't know why, what runs in their head or what they've been told or what they've been taught. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. But really, because women decided to opt out and say we don't need the captains, we don't need the chiefs, we don't need logical thinking people who are paving a way for everybody and plus them. Then they come crying 10 years back. It's like, well, too little, too late, man. 10 years of rejection, and it's like, maybe, it's like, you know what? Maybe I just don't want to deal with relationships, just period. I mean, it takes somebody like me, 35 to 40 years old. If you're 40 years old and then you start fathering kids, guess what? You're going to be changing diapers still by the time you're 50. I mean, if you have a child every 2 years or so, you have 5 kids or even whatever. Well, close to 50, you're going to be changing diapers, and that's not what you want. You're your grandparents' age, and you're changing diapers that are your first generation, not your second. You're not a granddad. You'll be a dad changing diapers at 50 years old. And let's say if you pass away at 75, 63, whatever, due to complications or whatever, heart, liver, lung, something. I mean, what are your kids going to do? You've only given them 15 years and you're gone. These women are not thinking right, man. I mean, even if you as a 40-year-old get with a 28-year-old, you give them the 20 years and you're 60, going on 60 or 60 plus. What's in it for the man? He ain't going nowhere. He ain't seeing the world. He ain't doing nothing, but he's taking care of his family. You're subjecting that man to take care of his family in his latter twilight years when he should be a granddad. Instead, he's just a dad. I mean, just say, the scenario, just everything goes right. Everything goes right. But you're a dad at 60 years old, not a granddad. You're a dad, a first generation. $63 years old, and you're not allowed to leave the house because you got responsibilities to your family, to your kids, your sons and daughters. But these people ain't thinking like that, and they wonder, ooh, why do men not want to have kids? Well, maybe because I've been busting my butt since I was 16, 17 years old at a job. I saw the world, been to the military, saw a lot of things, been around the United States from coast to coast. Pennsylvania to Arizona, I saw California, I've been to Washington State. I mean, other men have done that too. They've worked hard, they've taken advantage, they've done what they could, what they can, but I mean, you're not going nowhere now. You're stuck in with kids. You have a job and responsibility to your kids now. You ain't seeing nothing, you ain't doing nothing. And you better be thinking either your God or your lucky stars or whatever you wish upon to be thankful that you're not going to be crippled at 60 years old. You're giving your kids from 41, 42, 43, maybe 45. You give them 20 years, and you gotta wonder if you're gonna survive past 65. Hopefully you will, but I mean, just to say, there could be complications later on with the lungs, the heart, liver, cancer of anywhere, from head to toe. Everybody has their own physiology and life story, and family history of medical things going on, but I mean, just hopefully everything goes right and you're able to give them 25 years of your life before you take your forever nap. But is it worth it? I would hope it would be, but I mean, a lot of people look at that and say, man, that's too much, huh? Because see, you're going to be a successful man when you're about 45, 50. Then women decide, oh, hey, I'm 28, she's 30, whatever she is, and then you're 50 freaking years old, and then you got everything you wish and want because you had to struggle alone on your own. And then it's like, well, she wants a kid. Marriage and a family and everything right, and now you're 50 or 45. God, man. 45 or 50. Jeez. You're looking like you're 75. If you live that long, God help you, man. May whoever you serve help you out, because being a 75-year-old dad, not granddad, 75-year-old dad, man, that's gonna suck. Oh. Imagine all the aches and pains of age and time. Getting busted up while at work, get your fingers smashed. Or, simple things, accidents happen. It's a tough time, man. I need people to start thinking and using their head instead of their mouth all the time. It would help everybody if people would start, just think. Think before you talk. Have a good one.